He is very powerful in Hollywood, a heavyweight, but now producer Harvey Weinstein is facing multiple sexual harassment accusations that span 30 years, according to the New York Times. The Times reporting that
People want to know who we are,
I am over the 3 out of 4 women who experience sexual harassment here in the
I have been disbelieved. I have been, for lack of a better term, re-victimized. I have been asked things like, well, were you drunk? What were you wearing? Was it dark outside? Was he drunk? All these questions that really don't matter at the end of the day, because no means no and only yes means yes. I am a survivor of sexual assault, and I've made it this long without crying about it, and here I am, having to tell the story again. I've had to continuously face this assault throughout various circumstances because I am choosing to fight it in the justice system. How do we fix this? What do we do?
We're shooting a video for the song that Tommy Farragher and I wrote called I Believe You.
Tommy Farragher. Wow. He's a Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum selling songwriter and producer. I met him when I was in my early 20s living in New York, and I spent a couple of months working up the courage to approach him.
Sure where it is, though.
Track 10.
Which one?
Track 10.
Okay. So whenever Emiko and I get together, we, for the first 60 minutes or so, we'll spend just talking about things that are going on in her life, things that are going on in my life. And at that particular point in time, she was struggling with some serious issues and really felt that she needed to get it out. And she went to the piano and started kind of playing a little motif, and which inspired me to go to the keyboard over here with the computer and come up with a loop and a program. And we just looped it over and over again, and it just flowed very, very naturally. And it was coming from a real heartfelt place for Emiko, and I was able to relate to it because we had been discussing these issues for so many times, in so many sessions that we had been working, and it just felt like the right thing to do. And I think we even talked about, should we do this? Should we go this way? And because, yeah, of course we should. We have to. It's something that we have to do.
He started playing gong, 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 the opening line, and I heard, stranger than fiction, larger than life, because nobody believes these stories because they're so outlandish, but those are the ones that are true. And he sort of stopped for a minute and he goes, go with that, and so that's that's kind of what happened. That's how the song was written. Just to let you know a little bit about why we're here, if you have any questions or whatever, this is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. As a survivor of sexual assault, one of the things that I found out was that people tend not to believe you.
Let's do a quick run through. Can you coach?
Yes.
Please?
Same deal?
Same deal.
I Believe You wasn't even on the slate for a single release. It was just sort of a track that was on the, that was on the EP and would later be on the album. And then in October, was it? Sometime in the fall, so a few months after the song was done and written and the EP was out, Harvey Weinstein's face showed up. And then Me Too started filling my Facebook wall and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube and every Snapchat and everywhere that I looked in all the papers. And then my inbox started blowing up, and my assistant's inbox and my text messages and my phone and her phone, and everybody was saying, you gotta make this video.
We believe you. And so we have all these wonderful survivors and supporters and people who are doing this from their own experiences, and also to honor family members and friends who have been through this, and they want to stop this. So that's why we're here. Because we're not here to raise awareness, although that's going to happen anyway. We're here to stamp out domestic violence. Totally clear. We're not raising awareness. We're stopping the cycle.
You had people who were willing to fly themselves from across the country, pay their own ticket to be in this video, to stand up and use their voice and be counted. And we ended up with a group of 22 or 24 survivors, including children. And we had a father who was appearing on behalf of his daughter. We had a mother and a daughter. We had a woman who was honoring her college roommate. We had ex-service people in the military. We had hearing impaired people who were signing. We had medical professionals. And it was unbelievable to see. Even our crew was affected by this. Our crew had talked to us about their own experiences with abuse, sex abuse and violence and assault. And we had a week from the day we made the announcement to the day that the shoot happened. It was 6.5 days, I think. And everybody volunteered, everybody threw in their time and their resources. And we made the video, we launched it, and I was scared to death. I remember our BTS guy was watching me do my makeup, and he said, what are we here for? And I told him, and I said, I'm scared to death. And he said, what are you scared of? We're here, we're doing this. And I said, yeah, but what's gonna happen when people see it? When people see this thing, is there gonna be a backlash? Are people gonna come out of the woodwork and scream retribution? Are people gonna get angry? What's gonna happen? Is it just gonna wash away into the fold, Because these survivors are not rich, young Hollywood people. They're everyday people that have been fighting this battle for generations.
So there's, out of all the stories of incidents that may have happened in my life, I think the one that I want to focus on is what happened to me at work. So at the office, I didn't know that somebody was specifically emailing and showing photos that they basically photoshopped of me naked and writing all sorts of lewd comments, sexual things. I've never even really talked to the guy, and he was doing that and sending it to all the male coworkers in my office, and they ended up firing him for it. And in hindsight, I felt really bad. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I don't know. What if this was this is his livelihood here and he just lost his job because I told my boss about something? And then I started reflecting on it more, and I realized if I had kept quiet, he would have done that to the next female coworker that was walking around. And later on I found out that the gravity of what he was doing or saying and related to me with other male coworkers was actually a lot worse than what I was aware of.
They can sing through the I Believe Yous right now. And then we're also going to need to get a jump on the verses, because the verses are maybe even a little bit more difficult. Okay?
Yes.
It would be awesome if we can do this.
Okay, so we've got a bunch more chorus scenes, so.
Okay, so our next group is in,
Okay,
old group is out.
Okay.
I was ashamed at first, and you should never feel ashamed, but I felt ashamed. I felt like he took something from me.
Okay.
We're just going to bang these out.
So the opportunity to participate in something like this is very purposeful.
The second one, you were a little bit behind, but we'll try one more time. Just do the same thing again.
Okay. My own daughter, who's now 19 years old in college, she was a victim of sexual assault.
I was molested by a family member of mine, and so I definitely knew this person, and this person was close to me and my family.
That was my daughter. It's my only daughter. You know, you have 5 sons, and you got to be tough around your boys. My daughter comes into this world, changes my life, and the first thing I thought about was doing something to erase the person responsible for it. So there was a struggle internally in me that said, okay, you're a police officer. This is a person that is your child. You have a legal and you have a moral obligation to take some sort of action in order to, one would like to say to right a wrong, but you can't just right a wrong like that.
I didn't like the feeling that I was the victim, and it really felt that way because, you know, all the doctors and the police professionals and all of them, like, they gave me stuffed animals and sort of treated me in a way that made me feel like I had been victimized, which in some extent, obviously I was, but I just sort of felt the feeling that everyone was treating me differently in a way because they knew what happened, and I just remember that was really difficult for me.
Should I get all the authority figures?
Just bring them all in.
Okay,
We're just gonna bang these out.
I told my mom, obviously, she's my rock. I love her so much. But no, I didn't tell a lot of people at first, and it hurt. And then when I did tell someone, they were like, oh, okay, you know? They didn't take it seriously and it didn't feel right. But when I heard about this project and like being like, I believe you, like, I've never felt like a connection the way that I did when I heard that this project was going on, and I knew I had to do it.
I'm very, very equal parts happy that you're all here, that you've all been brave enough and courageous enough to come forward and be involved. So I'm here to say to all of you, I believe you.
Stranger than fiction.